Can you give us some examples of what our competitors are doing to attract and retain talent?
Development, there's always been incentives for employers to build plants or move corporate headquarters, create jobs. We want those tax revenues. We want the jobs. And the shift that's been occurring over the last especially 5 years is we've seen an emergence of incentives that are going right to people, to workers. And so communities and states, especially in the Northeast and in the North of our country, have put in place a number of incentives just to try to get people to move in. One example of that is Vermont. Vermont has a fairly well-known work remote or remote worker program where they are offering a 2-year up to $5,000 a year award to an employee that would move to Vermont and work remotely. They announced the results of that program, and so far they've been able to attract in less than a year 290 workers that have qualified under that program, most of whom brought a second adult and several scores of kids with them. So Vermont just last week announced that they're going to expand that program. It's not just going to be for next year, not just apply for remote workers, but they're going to expand that to any non-Vermont resident that moves into the state. That they'll be able to qualify for an up to $5,000 reimbursement of relocation expenses. And they were also targeting it for certain portions of the state. If the employee moves to perhaps some underserved or more rural areas, they can get a 50% bonus, up to $7,500 over 2 years. So, this is happening. We're tracking over 20 programs like this across the country, most of which in the Northeast and in the North.